Oh, yeah, baby. 1-800-449-8255. You're on the fabulous, amazing, incredible, um, spellbinding. You are spellbound here at the Clark the Shark show. And I'm in a bit of a spicy mood tonight. Gosh, so many of you are subscribing, but then the views, the subscriptions, everything just disappears. It's like YouTube has the Clark the Shark show on a leash and it can't grow or something. But I used to have these huge YouTube channels back in 2011. And I admit that back in the day when Clark the Shark, was all over the internet, on Blip TV. You guys remember Blip TV, don't you? Sure you do. It went out of business about 2012, and then 2015, about 8 years ago, one day it just went down for good. But anyway, I was a part of the Blip TV family, but that's for another video, you guys. It kind of went bad. Sharky's had a weird life. I've had this thing where I've been kind of down and small and little, and then once in a while I get all this money and things blow up. And I don't know, from like 2001 to 2013 or 2014, things were blowing up for Clark the Shark. And then, when Blip TV went off the air, things kind of went down. And then when that football player named Clark Higgins, he has my name, he retired, I think, in like 2012 or 2013. And there went about, 30% of Shark's web traffic. I guess the whole time they were just Googling that guy and me, Clark the Shark. I thought all of you were in love with me or something. I guess, maybe some of you were, but not enough, because the empire of Clark the Shark began to shrink rather rapidly too, from 2014 to 2017. And then 2018 was the year that I just hit rock bottom, and I lost my apartment down in Vista, and my red truck blew up. I lost a whole bunch of swimming pool jobs, and it was really humbling. The Lord was like, "Oh, Shark, here's a trial." The whole life has been a trial, though, you guys. A fucking trial since 1965. But, people have had it worse than Shark. I always, I don't know if they've had it worse, but I don't think anyone's had it weirder, It's almost like I'm all alone and all of you are just a movie. And what's that theory where you're all alone in the universe? That could be Sharky right there. And all of you just might be a figment of my imagination. And I'm writing everything as we go here. And none of you even exist at all. But I know the Count 5 existed, this incredible garage band from 1966 with Psychotic Reaction. What an album this was. Now, you know me. Come on, people. Let's frame the situation here and put things in perspective. Clark the Shark loves 1966. I was only 1 year old. I was born April 27, 1965, as many of you know, in Torrance. And I've barely ever left Torrance. I think I went to Lake Gregory a couple times. Or I went down to Mexico or Arizona or, I don't know, like Oregon. Like on a family trip, like, Chevy Chase, except for it was scary, traveling with my family, because I could get humiliated or beaten up or worse. So I'd better be careful and keep my mouth shut and learn to jump on the grenade fucking all the time, or else, Sharky, you're You're going to get it when you get home. When Dad gets home. Uh, when I see you, you're going to get it, Sharky, at 1-800-449-8255. But let me tell you, the Count Five, they really, really get it. These guys. I love that garage rock, that this thing that happened in 1965 and 66. I mean, I was here, I was in the world, the universe, but I wasn't really here. I was just a little baby in diapers. And yet, as I grew, I began to look back at 65 and 66, but in particular, especially 1966, the year in rock and roll. There was an American like punk rock underground garage. I can't really call it a revival because it was new. It was just this brand new thing that never really happened. And yet, I don't know, maybe they were trying to rev up like Richie Valens, and they accidentally poked a hole in their speaker and it was fuzz tone and, distortion or something in a garage. And it was fucking hella cool, man. And there was no fucking cooler band than the Count Five, Psychotic Reaction. What a song, what an album. What a band. I love the Count Five, you guys. Of course, 1967 would come along and it would be psychedelia, the Beatles and the Doors and the Who Sell Out and all this shit. That was incredible music, the Moody Blues and all this like underground psychedelia that was even fucking cooler than the pop psychedelia. But I think a lot of these bands from 66 that just hit it so big and so tight and so solid in 66, they couldn't cut it in 67. Some of them tried to make comebacks in like 68 or 69 and they just couldn't quite do it. Many of these 1966 underground, rough around the edges, almost like indie bands, like alternative or punk, way ahead of their time. But not really. That was just the sound of 1966. A lot of these bands could not cut it in the 70s. They couldn't cut it in the late 60s, and they just sort of faded out and disappeared. Some of them sort of were on the revivals circuit, I guess, over the years, and I might have seen some of them at a place, like the Strand in Redondo Beach, down a Pacific Coast Highway, or, who knows where. But, the Music Machine, of course, another one who just disappeared, and, the Standells, and gosh, it just goes on and on. You might even say the Yardbirds disappeared, but of course they evolved into something much bigger and better, as we later would see. Not really. I mean, they got new guys, but the tracks were laid, if you know what I mean, guys. Count Five, Psychotic Reaction, though, is another kind of tracks. 1966, primitive fuzz tone, maybe pre-psychedelia, rock and roll, garage. It's just a great year. I fucking love it. Oh, and there's this band called the Losing Streaks, and they really celebrate 1966. They're a modern band, like from today. And, bands like The Haunted, and it's not like they cover the songs, but like maybe write songs that are like that. It's, kind of like the Ruddles to that or something. It's fucking killer. I love it. And I think they do some covers, but there's other bands from today. There's some punk bands that are like that. The grunge sound of Seattle was kind of in honor of 1966, you guys. Maybe even 69, with Iggy Pop and the Stooges. But Iggy Pop and the Stooges were a revival, if you will, of 1966 and the Count Five. And, the Music Machine and the Haunted. It just goes round and round, you guys. And then when punk rock, hits in the 70s, it's kind of a revival of 1966 and the Count Five. Kinda, not really, but sorta. And me, Clark the Shark, I was there to absorb it all. Had to. I loved it. I don't really care what the stars say. It's going to get 5 stars, but dude, who gave it a 3? What is that, All Music? 3 stars, All Music. Well, what do they know? But double-decker bus. Like, paying homage to Britain, the Oddbeds, the pretty big mouth. It's just all fucking rad here, you guys. All the tracks are pretty much originals. Dude, these guys, John Sean Byrne, growing up in the South Bay, Torrance, Redondo Beach, everyone who happened to be on this amazing album became like on the wall at 251 downstairs in my room down in the dungeon. I bought a Count 5 vinyl, I think at the Rhodium in Torrance. I bought mini vinyls of these guys and couldn't decide, if I liked it on CD. I mean, of course, eventually I had to go to CD and, had to, you guys, but CDs skip, and they fuck up just like a vinyl does. The world. Oh, dude. All 212 of it. What a song. And then, of course, My Generation. This band is so connected and so in the know. They're covering The Who, you guys. I mean, they knew what they were doing. And She's Fine. I've said that many times. Me, Clark the Shark. And I usually get slapped when I say that, and I deserve it. Or maybe not, but She's Fine. Dude, I fucking love that song. Of course, Psychotic Reaction, one of the greatest songs in the history of rock and roll. I don't even care who wrote it. Byrne was part of the team. Psychotic Reaction. You talk about great rock and roll songs in the history of rock and roll. I don't just mean underground, indie, alternative, punk, grunge, garage, pre-psychedelia, proto, whatever. But you talk about just one of the greatest rock anthems in the history of rock music. It is Psychotic Reaction. It is right there with My Generation of the, by The Who. And, Peace of Mind is fucking killer, you guys. What an album. You got to hear this. Every song is fucking insanely good. They're going to get you. Sounds like, to me, like that song sounds like a hit song. And The Morning After, there's something about this sardonic delivery of the Count 5 too. This bluesy rock and roll, really grungy, like fuzz tone. Love it. Fucking love it. Can't get your lovin'. Oh, dude, come on. Clark the Shark is like always saying that. And then they cover Out in the Street by The Who. These guys are in the know, baby. Honestly, me, Clark the Shark, I wish the 2 Who covers weren't on this album. And they were replaced by 2 Count 5 originals. But let me tell you, you guys, in some weird, twisted way, I even like the Who covers. This band has such high energy, such intense sweat, rock and roll. Man, I must have listened to this album 1,001 times, you guys. And every time I hear this, I find something new in the Count 5. Me, Clark the Shark, on a scale of 1 to 10, this album's like a 9.6, 9.7, 4.8, 1 to 5. What an album. One of the greatest albums in history. And they were rejected by labels and you know, their stories kind of like GE. They did kind of make the big time here, and they got onto the scene with a very important album. I wish I could have done that. And I mean, all of you out there watch me and you're like, well, Shark, you're pretty big, dude. I mean, she's a bitch and then you live. She's a bitch, dude. Like, I mean, it seems like that. And are you making up your mind? Is that the only two songs by me that you guys know? I mean, geez, Louise, I got 40 songs, or I don't know, like 50, 60 songs. And you guys just watched like two of them or three of them. And I guess that's how it is, though, when you're a band. I mean, that's how Taylor Swift is. I mean, her fucking music sucks. I try to, like, I see these big crowds of like 90,000 people filling stadiums to see this little girl on a stage. There's not even anyone there with her. She's just all by herself, like she's one, you know, little Mick Jagger on a stage lip syncing. And like the crowd's just going nuts. And her fucking music is shit. You know, it's just garbage. I'm talking about her country music back when they say she was good. I mean, she fucking sucks. Now she's worse than ever, you know, because she's turned into like a sub Britney Spears or something. It's fucking awful. But hey, dude, if people want to buy it and like it, you know, what can I, Clark the Shark, do? You know, oh well. But I'm gonna fucking keep liking good quality shit forever, baby. Like the Count 5, Psychotic Reaction. And I want you to buy this album too, just for all these amazing garage, indie, grungy, pissed off, angry, distorted little songs. I mean, you talk about punk rock or maybe even proto heavy metal. These guys, I could tell Steppenwolf loved the Count 5. And I can tell that Iggy Pop loved the Count 5. And The Who, as they went along, they looked back and they loved the Count 5. Led Zeppelin loved the Count 5, you guys. The Beatles loved the Count 5. Dude, David Bowie loved the Count 5. Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones fucking worshipped the Count 5. These guys were incredible. They still are incredible. They belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame forever. And if it was up to me, Clark the Shark, they'd be, come on, you guys. Of course they'd be in the Rock and Roll fucking Hall of Fame. Fuck that place. It sucks. Tear that fucking piece of shit down in Cleveland. I mean, dude, they don't even have like Styx in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, they don't have the Moody Blues in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, but they got Green Day in there. You guys are real fucking geniuses, aren't you? Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. No, you're not actually. You fucking suck. At 1-800-449-8255. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, the fabulous, splendid, awesome, the most awesome talk radio show in America today, with hard-hitting politics and angry introspection that would make Pete Townsend and Bob Dylan look happy. Let me tell you, you guys, you won't find someone more miserable, but yet ecstatic and hopeful, all at the same time, rolled into a tight ball of fury. A tight little ball of fury, only 5'6", Clark the Shark, 1-800-449-8255. It's amazing. And I need you guys here every day. And I need you guys to go buy fucking killer bands like the Count 5. And get into all this 1966 underground shit. Bands you've never heard of. Bands that didn't make the Billboard 200. And check out those 1967 psychedelic bands that didn't make Billboard. They're amazing. And there's even bands from 68. Oh, dude. You got to check those out. They're amazing, too. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, where you just got the gospel, the word, the testimony, the truth, baby. That's what you always get from Sharky. And let's just be honest, you guys. You just got the only review of the Count 5, Psychotic Reaction, that you will ever want, or you will ever need, right here from the golden EIB Sharkerphone. It's not a microphone, you guys. Mere mortal men speak into microphones. For I, Clark the Shark, I speak into a golden EIB, Excellence in Shark Casting, golden Sharkerphone, not made by the Shure Microphone Company. It's actually made and manufactured by Jesus Christ, God, and the Holy Spirit themselves. For when you are hearing me, you are hearing the Lord. You are, you guys. You're hearing the truth. And sometimes even the Lord gets pissed off. I want you guys to read the Bible, St. Paul, where he laments. He sounds a lot like Clark the Shark. He's like, oh, wretched me. That's how I feel, you know. And read up on St. Francis, the way he was just some wacky weirdo like Clark the Shark. And, you know, Mary Magdalene, she's like a female version of Clark the Shark. I love the Bible, you guys, but I also love this evil, mysterious, dark, satanic band called the Count 5, Psychotic Reaction. And I want you to buy this album, especially if you're only 22 years old, you guys, and you were born in 2001. Right now it's 2023. I want you to get this album at Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, wherever you can online. I want you to buy the Count 5 Psychotic Reaction, but I want you to buy every Count 5 song that you can, you guys. And check out 1966, all those amazing bands, and buy as many of those bands MP3s as you can, you guys. Forget me, Clark the Shark. Quit watching my videos. Quit buying my fucking shit, dude. It's good, yeah, blah, blah. But I want you guys to get into the Count 5 and bands that I was into. Me, Clark the Shark. Right here from the Clark the Shark Show, you guys. Make sure you do it. Get some fucking, pick up some Count 5. And I'm out of here, people. Peace.